Sarah was scrolling through her bank statement on a Sunday morning in March, coffee going cold beside her laptop, when she saw a charge for $14.99 from a company called Flow State Meditation. She stared at it for a full 10 seconds. She had no memory of signing up, no memory of ever opening the app. She checked her phone. It was still installed, tucked into a folder on her third home screen, last opened 14 months ago. She had been charged $14.99 a month for 14 months. $209 for an app she used exactly once during a free trial to fall asleep to a recording of rain.
She kept scrolling. A meal kit service she canceled, she thought, back in the fall, still charging her $59.99 every 2 weeks. A cloud storage upgrade she needed for a work project that ended in June. 3 streaming services with overlapping content libraries. A password manager she was double paying for because she'd signed up again after forgetting she already had one. By the time she finished scrolling through 6 months of statements, she had counted 14 active subscriptions. She could name maybe 6 of them from memory. The other 8 had become invisible, absorbed into the monthly rhythm of her bank account like a tax she never agreed to. That's the moment the trap reveals itself. Not in any single subscription, but in the accumulation of small, forgettable commitments that were each individually reasonable and collectively catastrophic. Sarah didn't decide to spend $340 a month on subscriptions. She agreed to 14 separate $15 to $30 decisions spread out over 3 years, each one feeling insignificant in isolation. My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time thinking about how companies have engineered a system where forgetting to cancel something is more profitable than the product itself.
If you have ever found a charge on your statement for something you don't remember signing up for, if you've ever done the subscription audit and been shocked by the total, if you've ever kept paying for something specifically because canceling felt like too much effort, make sure to hit that subscribe button. What I'm about to show you is how the subscription economy has quietly become the most effective wealth extraction machine in modern consumer history, built entirely on the psychology of inertia. I call it the subscription trap, and once you see the mechanics behind it, you will never look at a free trial the same way again. Here is the fundamental thing you need to understand about the subscription business model. It is not built on the value of the product. It's built on the friction of cancellation. A one-time purchase requires you to actively decide every single time that something is worth your money. A subscription requires you to actively decide only once, and then requires ongoing effort to stop. Companies have discovered that this single structural flip from opt-in spending to opt-out spending is worth billions of dollars in revenue that has nothing to do with whether customers are actually using the product. They don't need you to love the service. They need you to forget about it, which is a much easier problem to engineer. The numbers behind this are staggering. According to a 2023 study from C+R Research, the average American estimates they spend $86 a month on subscriptions. The actual figure, calculated from bank and credit card data, is $219 a month, a gap of $133 that people are spending without realizing it. That's not a rounding error. That's an entire second subscription budget hiding inside the first one, invisible because it's spread across dozens of small automatic charges instead of one large noticeable one. Over a year, that hidden gap alone is $1,596. Over a working lifetime of 40 years, even without accounting for new subscriptions added along the way, that's $63,840 in charges people didn't know they were paying. Let me show you exactly how the subscription trap works, because the mechanics are deliberately invisible by design. The first mechanism is the free trial funnel. Companies know that requiring a credit card upfront for a free trial dramatically increases conversion to paid subscriptions. Not because people love the product after the trial, but because canceling requires remembering the exact date, finding the cancellation flow, and following through before the charge hits.
A study from ChargeBee found that the median subscription cancellation flow requires 4.2 steps, and 42% of companies deliberately require you to contact support, chat, or call to cancel, rather than allowing
A single click. This isn't a technical limitation. It's an intentional design decision, and it has a name inside the industry. Growth teams call it cancellation friction, and they optimize it the same way they optimize sign-up flows, except in reverse.
The second mechanism is subscription creep, the slow accumulation of small recurring charges that never feel significant enough to notice individually. Sarah didn't wake up one day and decide to spend $340 a month on subscriptions. She added a streaming service in 2022 for a show everyone was talking about. She added a fitness app in January as a New Year's resolution. She added cloud storage when her phone ran out of space. Each addition felt like a $5 or $10 decision, barely worth thinking about. But subscriptions don't get removed at the same rate they get added, because canceling requires active effort, while adding requires only a single tap. The result is a one-way ratchet, where your recurring monthly obligations only grow, never shrink, unless you deliberately intervene. The third mechanism is price creep after sign-up, the practice of raising subscription prices gradually after you've already committed, betting correctly that you're far less likely to cancel over a small increase than you were to sign up in the first place. According to a 2023 analysis by Consumer Reports, streaming services raised prices an average of 12 to 15% annually between 2021 and 2023, far outpacing inflation. The service you signed up for at $9.99 becomes
$12.99, then $15.99, then $18.99, and at no point does the increase feel large enough to trigger cancellation, even though the cumulative increase over 5 years might be 70 or 80%. You are not paying for the service you signed up for. You're paying for whatever price the company has quietly decided you'll tolerate without noticing.
Now, you might be thinking that subscriptions are actually a good deal, that you're getting genuine value, and that canceling and resubscribing to things you actually use is simply inefficient compared to just letting them run. And here's where I need to challenge that assumption directly. The value of a subscription is not what it costs. It's what you actually extract from it divided by what it costs. A $15 a month streaming service you watch 4 hours a week is an excellent deal. A $15 a month streaming service you haven't opened in 5 months is not a deal at all. It's a silent, recurring donation to a company that provided you nothing. A survey from Bango found that the average consumer forgets about approximately 2.3 subscriptions entirely, meaning they continue paying for services they don't remember agreeing to and never use. That's not 2.3 subscriptions they use rarely. That's 2.3 subscriptions that exist purely as a line item, generating revenue for a company while generating zero value for the person paying. If the average forgotten subscription costs $12 a month, that's $27.60 a month, or $331 a year, spent on nothing. Multiply that across a lifetime of subscription usage, roughly 45 adult years, and you're looking at nearly $15,000 spent on services you forgot existed, not counting the ones you remembered but never opened.
Let me show you the lifetime math, because this is where the subscription trap transforms from an annoyance into something genuinely alarming. Take two people with similar lifestyles. Person A accumulates subscriptions the normal way, adding new ones regularly and rarely auditing or canceling, ending up with an average of 18 active subscriptions at any given time, totaling $290 a month. Person B does a subscription audit every quarter, canceling anything unused in the past 60 days, keeping their active total around 6 subscriptions, worth genuine daily or weekly use, totaling $85 a month. The difference is $205 a month, or $2,460 a year. Invested in an index fund at 8% annual returns over a 35-year working life, that $2,460 annual difference grows to approximately $412,000. That's not the cost of any single forgotten app. That's the compounded result of never auditing, never canceling, and letting inertia manage your finances instead of intention. The subscription trap doesn't cost you money in dramatic, noticeable moments. It costs you money in the total absence of moments, in the silence of charges that never require a decision because you never look.
Here's what makes this particularly insidious. The subscription economy has also convinced us that canceling something is somehow wasteful or embarrassing, an admission that you made a bad decision, when the opposite is true. Canceling an unused subscription isn't giving up. It's correcting a system specifically designed to profit from your inattention. The guilt people feel about canceling, the sense that they should give it another chance or that they already paid so they might as well keep it, is itself a psychological artifact the industry has cultivated, because that hesitation is worth billions of dollars in retained revenue industry-wide. So what do you actually do to escape the subscription trap? The first action is to run a full audit using your actual bank and credit card statements, not your memory. Go back 3 months and list every recurring charge you see, because your memory of what you're subscribed to is reliably wrong by a significant margin. The second action is to apply a simple 90-day usage test. If you haven't opened or used a subscription in the last 90 days, cancel it immediately. And if you genuinely need it again later, you can always resubscribe, usually at the same price or with a new customer discount that rewards you instead of punishing you. The third action is to set a recurring quarterly calendar reminder to repeat this audit, because subscription creep is not a one-time problem. It's an ongoing structural pull that requires ongoing structural resistance.